Always great talking with Jasmine Jasudavicius, who's going to be back in action, taking on Viviane Araujo, UFC Fight Night, July 13th. Jazz, how's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great. Looks like you got plenty of notice, and actually we still got some time before the fight. So how nice is that to get another full camp, and how excited were you when you got this matchup?
Yeah, I was super excited when I got this matchup. It was like a while ago, so I had more than enough time, more than a full camp. Initially, I was booked for July 1st. And then so I kind of like booked a trip to Ireland to kind of kick off camp and all that. And then I was waiting for the contract to come in because I thought it was a for sure thing. And then no contract. And then a couple days later, they're like, "Oh yeah, something happened with a fight, but now you have Viviane." I'm just like, "Oh, okay, sick. Even better, higher number." And but my trip was already booked and everything, so I went down and so I've been at home for my entire camp now.
Okay, that's awesome. What did you get to train out in Ireland, or was it just like what did you get to do up there?
Yeah, I trained. I mean, I booked a training trip, so I went up there and I trained. I got to enjoy myself a little bit, which was nice. Got to enjoy some stouts, but but no, it was business.
Okay, where did you train at any gyms out there, or whereabouts did you get to work?
I was at SPG
Oh,
Ireland.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of what I was getting at. I was like, did you get to train at McGregor's gym? That's pretty cool. So, what was the was there like a connection there? Like, how did you end up like, or did you just hit him up and you're like, hey, I'm coming through Ireland. I'm a UFC fighter. Like how did all that get set up?
So I'm like one of the Forge Stout sponsored athletes.
Oh, cool. That's
So
right. Okay.
yeah, yeah, no, I'm very, very fortunate for that. So that's I already had that kind of going on, and then Aaron Jeffries was fighting in Belfast.
Right.
Like this was a while ago, and then so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like, why don't I go down? I'm never gonna go to Ireland or like over there or anything. So I'm like, I'll fly in, I'll train for a week, and I'll go watch Don's fight, and then I'll go home. And then so that was the plan. We did that, and then the training was awesome. The coaching staff was awesome. The girls there were great. So then I got home, and I'm like, oh, next training trip, I'm just gonna head down there again. I have a great relationship with everyone, and it just made sense. So it was like initially I went just for Don, like Aaron's fight, but then I didn't even know it would discover such a great place there.
That's cool. There's Bracatona's down there, and Katie, his girlfriend, right? They're both
Yeah.
Canadian, obviously, so a little bit of familiar faces there, which would be good, like at least from our country, right?
Yeah, exactly. I actually fought on the same card as Brad before, so we kind
Oh yeah,
of knew each
297,
other.
of course. Yeah, you guys were on the same card. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, being Canadian. So, oh, hey, what's up and everything. And so it was really nice being in Ireland and having more Canadians there. And, I feel like they felt the same.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Like I mentioned, good opponent here, Araujo, 12-6 record. Stylistically, how are you looking at this one?
I think it's a sick matchup. Stylistically, obviously, she's solid everywhere. But everyone up there is going to be solid everywhere. So, it is what it is. I'm looking forward to it. It's a big test, number 10. So we'll see how it goes.
Training camp, you mentioned doing the bulk of it back home. Who did you get to work with? Who were some of the main training partners for this one?
So, it's the same. Unfortunately, Ashley, my first training camp without Ashley, this is
Yeah.
challenging one, but that's part of it. So just my regular guys, Cody, Tisha, and then I got the girls and everything.
How do you go about your weight cuts these days?
Yeah, so obviously I've always used Aaron. He's like, one of my boys, so I ask him everything. But in addition, the UFC staff is sick. Like Charles, he helps me out with everything. I message him and I ask him about like supplements or weight cut or anything. So I've got so much help, here as well as like a quick resource to Charles. I'm very fortunate to have so much knowledge.
What about the trip? Who's going to be coming down with you as far as your corner? Chris Prickett, I assume, as usual. Matthew Jelly, Matthew DeMarc. Yeah, your usual corner, I'm guessing, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Matt DiMarcantonio, Matthew Jelly, Chris Perkett,
Yeah.
the dream team.
Yeah. If it's working, don't try and change it. And how do you see this fight playing out on the 13th? How do you think it goes down?
You know, I see me with my hand raised, like always. That I'm gonna try to beat her up for the entire 15 minutes and hopefully find a sub on the way
Yeah. Well
or
said.
finish.
And I imagine after this as well, you know, we're hearing rumblings they're going to go back to Canada. I've heard some rumors and stuff, but I would imagine you would be a part of that card because there aren't a lot of Canadian fighters in the UFC right now.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I obviously I love fighting in Canada. Being able to fight in my hometown, fighting in Toronto was unbelievable. I think it'd be really cool to fight out east. I would love to like fight in Nova Scotia or PI or something like that. It would be really cool. You know, I've fought on the west side, fought in the middle. Let's go to the east side now.
Well, that's the rumor, right? Is Halifax, so hopefully it all ends up taking place. Fingers crossed. That's what we're hearing. Like I mentioned, pretty notable opponent here. A win. Where does that sort of put you in this grand scheme of things? Because you're coming off a nice win heading into this as well.
I mean, I would, I'll take anything after this fight. I don't know. I'm not even really thinking about anything after this fight because I have, you know, this task at hand. But like I said, I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. So as long as I get a number higher, 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 I just want to get up there.
I imagine you're watching The Ultimate Fighter because your buddy there, Tom Theocharis, is
Yeah.
on the show, and then also it's your division, right? Valentina and Grasso. Are you going to be watching? I imagine.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. That yesterday's episode was awesome. I can't wait till they show Tommy more though.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's pretty cool to see like a teammate on there. Would you have ever done that show if you were offered?
Yeah, I feel like I would have loved to do that. I think that that's like so much fun because I I don't I feel like there's only a small amount of time that people get to actually like see your personality and get
Yeah.
to kind of like know you. And so I think that the show would be a really good way to get to know everyone.
Sticking with women's MMA, what did you think of Ronda Rousey? Obviously, she came out and I guess she kind of made the comments about how she's not welcome back and all that. To me, that's a bit of a bummer because, like, I think people that did watch her in her prime, and I'm assuming you did as well, like, she really had a huge impact on the sport. I think it's a lot of newer fans that maybe saw the Nunes or Home fight and they were like being mean to her. I don't know. What would you make of that whole thing?
I feel bad for her. You know, MMA fans are ruthless and they're mean for no reason. It's kind of ridiculous. Like she put her whole life into this sport and for her to come out of it and feel like she's not even like welcome into the arena or not gonna get booed and all that, it's actually heartbreaking because she did a lot for women's MMA. She did a lot for MMA in general, and it's pretty disrespectful that people don't kind of like give her the credit that's due. Like, okay, yeah, the last couple fights, it was she didn't look great in, but dude, she was like a pioneer of the sport. Give the respect that it deserves.
Yeah. Completely agree. And you always give the respect it deserves in these interviews, Jasmine. Always appreciate the time. It is July 13th, UFC Fight Night. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention, I'll give you the last word.
Just always thank my team, my coaches, my training partners, and thanks for having me. Check my fight.